Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome, and I mean welcome to another brand new stream. And also, testing. Is this going live? Testing. And also, what's up everybody? Welcome to another brand new video. And I'll say this again that yep, this by the way my friends is definitely a test. So anyways, testing. Can you guys hear me? Alright, good. Alright, I can hear a bit of the volume now. Good. Alright, so, anyways, before we say anything else, that yes, this again is likely to be a test, so, anyway, welcome to another brand new test of this stream of the video itself that, yep, gotta say, and might as well say that this is actually working pretty dang good. So, this, by the way, is pretty good. And as in for the chance right now, so I hope you guys really do recommend and enjoy the stream that now I'm doing. So that's all I want to be saying right now. And only want to give you guys a little bit of an update, and just as in for now of this stream, that I probably will say as in for late that yes, again, directly, hopefully that I could probably be making streams on my phone now, since I might probably be doing likely a bit of this test, so that way if you guys feel free to enjoy this test, then yeah. And also, I'm Devin-Foxy Remastered, and known as truly as the second king of Five Nights at Freddy's. That's right, the second king of Five Nights at Freddy's. So, just want to say is that if you guys are excited to know what's going to happen next with likely is whatever's going to recently happen, then I don't know. It's just going to happen what we're going to happen to see what happens. And for another good thing I actually just want to do right now is just talk to you guys about like, oh, what's going to happen when I actually will likely continue with the Withered animatronics is, you know, to see how the Withered animatronics are doing lately and just like see where all this goes. And yes, again, as I did say likely earlier, that Withered Bonnie's voice tests is probably going to work anyway, since he, on the other hand, will have an MET video coming up soon, since, yeah, I had some good news that Withered Bonnie might come around and he might be approaching soon, as he might be likely to get tested and pretty much likely have his test being tested. And then, as in for the Withered Freddy, by the way, I just want to give you guys another awareness that yes, Withered Freddy will be doing the jump scare test exactly that he'll do the jump scare test to go after the security guard, which it's not now, it's only when I can actually get that ready. That's the only point, and that's pretty much the only likely point. But the only point now that yes, it's gonna kind of be a little bit different exactly between with right now, exactly with the Withered animatronics is take exactly to go on and get to the security guard and get revenge on the security guard, which of course the toy animatronics will probably be on the stage and all, since they're probably the ones trying to like not try to jump scare the security guard. They're more likely trying to try to hallucinate the guard exactly without trying to like try to get sent back to the same spot where they always are at, since that's probably what I'm trying to do for the same purpose. And see how am I going to get the toy animatronics to probably personally move. Well, pretty much the Wizards get their time to actually have their time movement a little slightly different, as I'm probably am intending to have Withered Freddy to actually probably be the only one being active at a random night, or should I say at a random at a AM, so where he, on the other hand, could definitely be going after the security guard and will have time to actually jump scare him without the Fazbear head on effectively, which the Fazbear head could definitely probably work to lure him away, but it'll probably give him time anyway to catch him up exactly, but we'll see. Like, we'll just see, my friends. We'll just see. And then as in for good possibilities, I'm probably likely to see where all this goes, and just all likely to see what happens with Withered Freddy attemptedly to get the security guard and jump scare him and see where all that goes, since I'm probably excited to see that, and I'm like, damn, I'm gonna love it, which I hope so. Like, I could definitely get this test worked exactly as long as I get it ready. That's probably the main point of that now, since I have to be the one, like, doing the same thing with the toy animatronics, that they're probably the same thing to go after the security guard, but more different advanced ways to get the security guard, which are probably a bit different. So yeah, I'm probably working with the Wizards first, and then see how Withered Bonnie acts exactly since I'm the only one probably like seeing where all this happens and see where all this goes, since I'm likely to have like Wither Freddy be the one first to go after the security guard, and will actually do 2 tests that he'll probably do right now as effectively. That he, by the way, will definitely likely just jump scare the security guard first, and then do the failed version 2 that will also be involved for 6 a.m. for the security guard to win. So there's 2 things that Wither Freddy will have to do. Is just do the completion of the jump scare test, or neither, that he'll probably do the failed version of this. So either way, we're going to see where this happens and see where all that goes. But as of Wither Bonnie, yes, he is almost near like going to be at a green light very soon, that he'll be actively waking up certainly, that he'll actually have his voice box actually tested and fully like analyzed of the test. That will probably sound like Wither to me. That will sound like the same withered animatronics that they always have been withered. So that's probably my point of that now. But Withered Chica's, by the way, is not fully ready. Withered Chica is still on a red, as along with Withered Foxy, which that's probably either which way. And I gotta say that yes, the same voice actors that are probably the same characters from the very previous first, that I actually did have the voices for them exactly, that yes, Freddy again still voices James, pretty much that James voices Freddy exactly, which I probably am likely. To say that he'll do the same thing with the same previous number 2 that's going on exactly, because I likely to say is that, you know, just what happened last time for the same voicing characters, but more likely with the same way as it goes. And yes, Woody on the other hand will still yet again return, that yes, it's the other Woody, not referring to as a cowboy. I'm kind of referring to a different Woody kind, just a different Woody. That he on the other hand still returns to be Bonnie exactly, that he'll still return to do voicing as Bonnie for now, that he'll actually return until there'll probably be another voice to replace him exactly for no reason, but you know, it just probably won't happen yet. It just probably won't happen until we continue on until it already gets there. So that's probably the next basic point. Now, pretty much with Elsa, you know, different Elsa, that, you know, I gotta say that yes, she does the voice of Chica. That pretty much likely that I still again do most all the voice of the characters, and I gotta say my own version of the characters I just voice directly. So yes, again though, it's pretty much gonna be the same way, that yes, Elsa, by the way, still remains the voice Chica, and for pretty much another secondary return that will also be approved exactly, that will also come around too and also approved. And then as in for me, myself, the main guy that voices Foxy, that, oh yeah, I get to come back in a second time. I get to come on back. Which I probably will exactly at this point, since I probably say is like, yep, returned on back. And then as in for the same thing with the other characters, I've been pretty much voiced exactly that. I voiced it Shadow Freddy, that yes, he seems to return back as well. But this time even more different alternative, that he returns back. And then the Shadow friend is unknown exactly, that's a Shadow Rabbit. Pretty much I'll also be introduced as well, for a new character being actually introduced to show up exactly. That also gets to tag along with Shadow Freddy as well, since they're pretty much both likely to keep things where they're going to go, so that's probably what's going to happen. And as for Mr. Evil, that voices Golden Freddy, yep, second time returned again. Definitely another return again, like always, and yeah. And then another question that reminds to tell me exactly about, like, oh, is Mike Smith gonna come back? Well, the answer for me, that Mike Smith, by the way, or should I say Mike Schmidt, by the way, meant to say Schmidt, exactly, that no, Mike Schmidt will not return in the second time. He will probably not return. He's the only one who's gonna probably be, like, helping Jeremy Fitzgerald to pass through the nights and all that other stuff that he'll just probably tell them to do carefully without actually getting killed, because I mean, for Mike Schmidt, he'll probably be only a useful character at these days right now, that he'll probably remain to be a bit useful until he actually returns to the horror of the all horror exactly, that he gets to probably go to the third location itself exactly, that it's pretty much where Springtrap's going to be at, which that's probably the other purpose point, that Mike Schmidt, he's going to probably be the one likely to give Jeremy Fitzgerald a little bit of like awarenesses exactly from what he's been dealing with the past exactly recently from the very first. I'm just talking about like my own movie kind that Mike Schmidt doesn't return back to the second location. He only just has like a bit of like some fears, a bit of unknown relic from the past, exactly what's been really constantly happening exactly for a bit of times with him. So he kind of decides that he will no longer be at the second location anymore, since he probably won't, since he's probably got another job and a different job, considered likely a little bit of an unknown job that Mike Schmidt, by the way, will also have. Just an unknown job that he won't do security shifts anymore. He only will return for a security shift if he ever does like a third location he ever goes to exactly, which he'll probably will, I think, at this point. Now with David Parks' fate, for what's going to go on with David Parks, well, he'll still remain being alive exactly until if he ever gets killed by an unknown identity or an unknown character that probably physically just kills him unknown directly at a different location, or maybe just likely, yeah, pretty much like, a little bit of unknown exactly for a little bit of his unknown reasons for David Parks exactly that I did have planned for a bit. Just for the second version of my movie, exactly, for just the second version of it, which is just the second version. But no matter, just see what happens with that, because I'm actually kind of figuring out what I'm doing with first, exactly to see what I'm going to do. Is by seeing is like some disappearances, reappearances, appearances in different times and different things that's going to go on. So that's probably what's going to be likely for what's going to happen. And the only question about what's going to go on here exactly for what happens here, we just may never know what happens. But, David Parks probably will still would no longer return to, like, the third location. He probably will not, since he might get killed by somebody exactly, which I don't know how David Parks might or will not. I mean, he just probably won't appear exactly, but he'll only just give Mike Schmidt a bit of advices before that actually does happen. For whatever's going to be like the third thing that happens, which I'm not saying the third movie could really just happen on my fourth channel yet. It just probably won't happen, since I'm giving you guys some clues for what's going to go on, and a little bit of more dark and a little bit of interesting stuff. Interesting for knowing what all of that goes on. But it's just going to be interesting. Very interesting. So that's my point of the fact, and that's my point of the reason what's going to go on for this. So that's what I want to tell you guys about, and just see where all that goes. But for the real question is I hope that you guys are excited as I am that I'm continuing to do more good stuff happening on this fourth channel. That even though that, yes, it remains on a slow progress and remains slow likely progress for me, just to continue on with this fourth channel and just get everything prepared and just get things ready until further notice, exactly until I get all that ready. So that's pretty much what I would want to say right now. That's all I probably would figure to say. And then the only unknown question is that what's going to really go on and happen until things actually considers a lot more strange and different. Well, I'm only going to talk about like the season kind of season 2. Well, season 2 is going to kind of be a little bit more familiar. Season 2 is going to kind of be a little bit more different at its finest a little, and just see all that continues ahead, since I'm likely to be the one continuing good stuff to happen with like season 2, that I might have to get season 2 on board, that afterwards, that after the second movie's finished, I might have to probably think of an idea how I might get more camera time for characters to have their more camera times even oftenly, or more likely a bit evil likely, since I'm going to be a bit of intelligent a little, and just keep things where they're going to go. And that's just what I want to be pointing out for that. So there you go. So anyways, again, I gotta say with the phone testing, it's doing pretty good. Like, you guys can hear me from the microphone, which even though I'm still holding with my hand with my phone exactly, which I'm just like using my phone as a camera like always. I'm just using it as a camera, so yeah. And then I probably do notice about the camera exactly that, however, that yeah, the camera, by the way, is actually pretty good. It's actually really interesting for once. It's actually very interesting for once. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. I could always just move it like this, exactly. So it's pretty funny that I actually do move it like that. Like, it's pretty funny I'm doing it. LOL. It's actually pretty funny when I'm doing that. Like, maybe like, or maybe like that, or something, whatever it's gonna be, just going up and down. I'm just messing with y'all. I'm just messing. I'm messing with it. I'm just messing. But anyway, for real now, that I gotta say is thank you guys for once again to continue to keep on enjoying this video, and very appreciate it, and for much more good questions coming in the way of the future for what happens. So there you go. And then the only question is, by the way, is that after when like Finance of Phrase 2's finished, with me like finishing up, but I gotta finish up exactly with like, oh, Finance of Phrase 2 and stuff about like my own version of the movie, of my own kind of this 4th channel. Well, after FNAF 2's kind of over, I might lean it to FNAF 3, that Springtrap finally gets the shining of his time exactly to finally show up, which, I mean, yeah, it probably would be about time for him to have some vengeance and revenge for a bit, until he starts coming back for more evilness, exactly like he always does. But yeah, that's probably going to be some time for now, until further notice again. So yeah, it's interesting. It's just so interesting that it continues on by and continues on by as everything continues slightly. So that's my point of the news, and that's just all I want to give you guys for that fact now, is that thank you guys for so much for likely to continue to keep on watching, and that will be amazing and fully, yet again, dedicatedly appreciated. So thank you very much for likely being patient, and I probably am appreciated too. So thank you for being appreciated and very much more. So there you go. And all I gotta say that, yep, it's gonna be awesome. And I hope I do say again that the voicing of the Withered animatronics are going to do good and great, which that's all I'm hoping for, that I could actually think for at least, which I hope it probably works. And now, is there going to be a Withered version of Withered Golden Freddy or Withered Shadow Freddy? The answer is yes. It probably will be, the answer is yes. That the two identity Withereds will probably be yellow or purple, that yes. Shadow Freddy will become Withered Shadow Freddy in the very likely in the next era of the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria 2, that yes, he'll become as the Withered Shadow Freddy that he'll become exactly, but even more stronger than he could ever probably would have been as full Withered version. But yes, he on the other hand becomes very strong, very powerful and strong, which he probably becomes pretty stronger than likely, you know, I'm talking about the season kind, that he'll become stronger exactly. And no, Springtrap again still will not return into both things. He will not return in as well. He only got sent to the 3rd location, and that's probably it. For example, like, pretty much for instance, the fake purple guy already died, and then Springtrap became to be sent to the 3rd location as for that answer. And then for season version, Springtrap on the other hand definitely got sent to the same 3rd location again, but this time he just has to pretty much hang out with Withered Sonic. That, you know, my own Withered version of Sonic. That, you know, that he on the other hand gets to keep him around in the 3rd location, which both of them are actually, let's just say, disappeared out of nowhere. Like, both of them just recently disappeared. But yes, both of them remain to stay evil like always, like Springtrap and Withered Sonic. Both of them, on the other hand, remain to pretty much likely still, and I mean still, remains to be evil, and remains to stay at the 3rd location like it always stays at the 3rd location. So yeah, they probably both ended up for that way. So as in for the other Withereds, about like the other Withered Sonics, I think, is what about like, yeah, Withered Sonic still keeps his other Super Withered form, like always, he keeps that same form with him. And then, like, Withered Classic Sonic, exactly, Withered Classic Super Sonic, he, on the other hand, gets to probably been shut off, I think, along with the Withered Shadow, that he also gets to be shut off too. Like, both of them got to be shut off because of an unknown character that actually deactivated them and probably put them somewhere in a little bit of an unknown place for now, that they're probably both no longer seen until they might become a little bit more relevant to return for a little bit, as in for unforeseen for what happens for them. You know, I'm just giving you guys a little bit of a notice what's even happening for something that really goes on for that. So that's my point of the fact, and that's my only reason what's going to go on with it. So, yeah, that's all I want to say. So, again, like always, I do again appreciate you guys very much for enjoying this stream like I'm always am. So hopefully you guys do appreciate the stream while I'm doing the test of my Samsung on this phone. So yeah, it'll probably be for the same thing as my other separate channels like I've briefly mentioned on the second one that, yep, it's going to be the same but more likely different notices of what I'm going to be doing apparently and for much more. So, without further being again and notice, is thank you guys for once again for watching, and like always is please be sure like every single time is like and comment and subscribe, hit the bell to be absolutely notified, and that way you will not miss a single video that comes onto this channel, and for much more questions yet again beyond more stuff happening. So again, with pretty much with the toys and the wizards and unwizards, no, they're not going to do gaming because, I mean, they're just not going to do gaming. The only characters who remains to do gaming is FNAF 1. You know, that the regular characters gets to do. Like Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and all other characters from the first location gets to do gaming. Which, I mean, including that, yes, they get to do gaming until afterwards that they probably will. And then for more to considering questions is that if FNAF 2 did the same, then FNAF 3 won't do gaming. It'll only just do like the same thing, but only about the secondary FNAF 2 characters that gets to do gaming, which I'm not saying they will, I'm just saying that they're only going to remain at a different pace. You know, but if I ever change plans or accord to change plans or anything, which I probably simply won't accord to change any of them yet, which I probably still continue to keep the things where things are at right now and just see where all that goes, which I have not got the entire thing set up yet, which the only characters I got left for the jump scare test to go is with Withered Freddy, Withered Bonnie, Withered Chica, Withered Foxy, and Withered Golden Freddy, and then apparently maybe probably like the Shadow Identity character of the version of the rabbit that's shadowy exactly, which he probably still won't appear to anything. Until he ever does, he probably will simply just appear at somewhere. And then Withered Shadow Freddy, he probably won't do a jump scare. He probably won't. He just randomly just doesn't jump scare anybody at this point. He probably only simply may kill some characters, but he just won't ever jump scare them. The only characters who just does that is just the regular characters from every single gameplay that they do it. But Withered Shadow Freddy just doesn't have a jump scare. He just really doesn't do any of them. He just simply doesn't. So, that's my story, and that's just all I gotta tell you guys of that update and that reason of what's going to go on for this. So, yeah, that's what I want to say right now. So thank you guys for your patience, and thank you guys for enjoying this video of the stream. So without further ado, is that once again I am Devin-Foxy Remastered, the Second King of Five Nights at Freddy's, and I will see you in the next time, and then in the next video. And yes, more MET videos will yet again show up and very much likely appear soon, and sometime in the near future that will happen. That yes, they'll continue with the Wizards as well, that it'll still remain to be finished, and they won't be undone. They'll actually just be finished and complete. Which, at this point, that yes, the FNAF 2 timeline right now exactly is fully yet again completed, which they probably are completed, so that's my point of that there too exactly. So, anyway, I'm going to get going now, and also for more questions yet beyond is that, remember, the 4 things you guys got to do is like, and comment, and subscribe, hit the bell to be notified. That way, again, you will not miss a single video that comes on this channel. So, anyway, thank you so much. That'll be amazing, and that will be well done, appreciated, and so likely thank you. So, anyways, I'll see you in the next time, and then in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody. See you in the next time, and then in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody. See you next time. Devin-Foxy Remastered, the Second King of Five Nights at Freddy's. We'll check you later and check you next time. So anyways, bye-bye and see you later. Peace on